Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
And it's our food unit as we kick off the month of November. November, of course, in a lot of Americans' eyes means turkey at the end of the month. And also, it's sort of like the Christmas season beginning. We start to put up our Christmas decorations and stuff like that. And I didn't really notice this before, but I guess there is a turkey dish here in Taiwan that is quite popular, especially down in Chiayi.
Yeah, I didn't know about this either, but I think I'd really like it. It sounds delicious. We're going to describe it as we get into this. But yeah, that's kind of the beginning of our holiday season in America. It goes from Thanksgiving, and then it goes throughout Christmas, and then the New Year's comes. So it's just a fun stretch of time in America, at least, or in Western countries that actually, I think America only is the only one with the Thanksgiving at that point in time. I know Canada has their own Thanksgiving. It's a different time of the year.
I think it's in October, actually.
Yeah, it's earlier than ours. But yeah, it's definitely the holiday season. We're going to talk about this beloved turkey rice, what makes it so special, what's in it. We have the ingredients, so I'd kind of like to try this myself. Right now, though, guys, we're going to listen to the lesson read out loud, and then we're going to be back.
Every November, American households prepare a traditional turkey feast to celebrate Thanksgiving. While Thanksgiving is not widely celebrated in Taiwan, there is a unique turkey dish called turkey rice that is very popular among locals. Turkey rice is a well-known street food in Chiayi, Taiwan. Traditionally, it is made by layering turkey meat over rice and then drizzling it with a mixture of pork oil, soy sauce, and turkey drippings, creating a flavor that is rich but not greasy. Different vendors might vary this dish slightly. Some traditional ones improve the dish by topping the turkey with crispy fried shallots to add depth to the smell. They also serve it with pickled yellow radish to make it tastier. The origins of turkey rice are unclear. One theory suggests that after World War II, American troops stationed in the Chiayi area introduced turkey, which local farmers then bred extensively. Post-war shortages made chicken hard to come by at that time. Turkeys, being larger and cheaper than native chickens, became a regular food source at local stalls, eventually leading to the turkey rice we know today. Turkey rice is not just a delicious meal, but also a symbol of Taiwan's unique culinary culture. Whether enjoyed as a quick street snack or a hearty meal, turkey rice remains a must-try for anyone seeking an authentic taste of Taiwanese cuisine. Okay, it's time for us to discuss the contents of today's lesson. We're talking about beloved turkey rice. Now, this word beloved is kind of tricky because it just means my dear one, dearly loved. But some people say beloved and some people say beloved. If you're talking about something or someone that you love, you probably say my beloved. And in other situations, you'll say beloved, but I can't really think of any right offhand.
Yeah, I might say beloved turkey rice on this instead of beloved turkey rice. But you can pick, guys. There's no rule out there that says you have to pronounce it one way or the other. I know there's sometimes we just kind of have a feeling of which it should be based on what we've heard in the past, but I've never heard beloved turkey rice or beloved turkey rice because this is a Taiwanese dish, and we're going to talk about where it comes from and why people love it. So let's start out. We've got every November, American households prepare a traditional turkey feast. And that's because we're celebrating Thanksgiving. We had all the people from Europe that came over at one point in time in the 1600s, and they were just grateful they had enough to eat when it was time to harvest and sit down to eat this dinner. And they happened to have a turkey there and some of the earlier vegetables. But that's what we're celebrating. We're commemorating. We're remembering that we had enough to eat as we came over for the first time from Europe.
Yeah, turkey meat itself isn't really that great. It's okay, but turkeys are very large animals, and if you're trying to survive in North America and you need a quick meal and you don't care what it tastes like, then you can slaughter yourself a nice big turkey and chop it up, and there you go. You're all set. And yes, you can make turkey taste better if you put gravy or other things on it. But again, this is a tradition for Americans to have turkey during Thanksgiving. So American households prepare a traditional turkey feast to celebrate Thanksgiving. Your household is just your home. It doesn't talk about the actual structure or the house itself. It talks about the home and all the people inside, the family, and maybe some other people living there too.
Yeah, so it's just the house and the occupants, and it's regarded as one unit. It doesn't matter if maybe you have a house with 4 floors or maybe you have 2 homes that are connected together. It's one household, and you live there, so you don't have to be a citizen. You could be someone who comes over and lives for a while in one place. That's a household. And you can count friends. It doesn't just have to be family members. It's whoever's living in that particular unit or house. So they prepare these wonderful feasts. If it's a feast, there's a lot of food to eat. And Thanksgiving is that way. Everybody brings as much food as possible. Everybody eats until they're stuffed and it's uncomfortable and you have to unbutton your top button on your pants because it hurts. So while Thanksgiving is not widely celebrated in Taiwan, and it isn't unless you run into some Americans or maybe some Canadians, there is a unique turkey dish called turkey rice that we've been talking about that's really popular among locals. Locals are people who live here and who were here originally.
Right. I think I've only seen this at one place in Taipei. It's kind of a place over by the Medical University Hospital. I think there's a place that has it. My wife ordered it that day. I didn't order it that day, although I have nothing against eating turkey rice.
What's that place called? Do you know?
I don't know the name of it, but I just happen to know it's near that hospital. But in any case here, it's a very popular dish, I think, especially in Chiayi. Maybe not so much in Taipei here because I've only seen it at one place in the 30 years I've lived in good old Taipei. So maybe I'll find some more restaurants. Who knows? Now, moving on now to the second paragraph, it says, turkey rice is a well-known street food in Chiayi, Taiwan. So if you head down to Chiayi on your way to Alishan or whatever, you can stop in Chiayi and look for a place that sells turkey rice. It is a local specialty, and it's a well-known street food in Chiayi, which means, well, you could order it in restaurants, but it's usually in night markets or, I guess, small 小吃店, little diners.
Little places, huh? So traditionally, this is what we've done in the past as a tradition. It's made by layering turkey meat over rice and then drizzling it with a mixture of pork oil, soy sauce, and turkey drippings, creating a flavor that's rich but not greasy. It sounds delicious to me. If you layer something, you take a piece of something and you put it on top of something else. For example, if you're making a wedding cake, they'll often have different layers that are stacked on top of each other. So here we've got turkey meat, and there's rice on it, and then there's this layer of a drizzling gravy kind of thing. You've got pork oil, soy sauce, turkey drippings. Drippings refers to kind of the liquid that comes off some meat as you cook it or as you roast it, and it's really tasty. That's kind of the best part. We usually take the drippings and use that to make gravy to put on top of things. But here it's just the turkey drippings that you get. For example, if you cook a pan of bacon and you're done, you take the bacon out, but then there are the drippings in the pan left over, and those are delicious.
Right, and you shouldn't wash those down the sink either because you'll get a clog in your sink, so wipe them out with a paper towel or something like that. And so these are the ingredients that you put on a serving of turkey rice. Again, you have layers of turkey meat on the rice with all these different ingredients on top, and that's a rich flavor, but it's not greasy. Greasy means it's kind of oily. I should mention this, but I've actually heard some people say greasy, which sounds really weird to me, and in fact, it is in my dictionary, but don't say it that way because most people will say greasy. It has a lot of grease or oil in it, and maybe that can make the texture kind of inconvenient for some people. So yeah, this is not greasy, and so this actually sounds very appetizing.
Yeah, if it's greasy, it usually has a little too much oil. Maybe they didn't wipe the oil enough. If you have fried chicken, sometimes it can be really greasy or even if you have pai gu fan, it could be pretty greasy. It depends on the place. But different vendors might vary this dish slightly. Usually, like any other dish in any restaurant, you'll go to different types of places, and the chef will make little adjustments so that they feel like, this is our version of this dish. So they're making little adjustments. They're varying this dish slightly. They might take away some of these things or put something else in. Some traditional ones improve the dish, and they do it by topping the turkey with something called crispy fried shallots or shallots. It's pronounced both ways depending on where you are. And if you listen to cooking shows, you'll hear shallots more, but they're good. Shallots or shallots are really popular here in Taiwan as well. They've got kind of a tan or rosy color to them. Some people confuse them with green onions, but they're not. They're completely different plants. But they are in the same family, the onion family, of course. It's got a little bit of a peppery taste to it. It's got even a little bit of garlic taste to it. But shallots or shallots are really great. They add depth to the smell. So that I would definitely add to my dish if I were to make this.
Does sound very tasty. And as you know, when you eat something, the taste is just as important as the smell. Or I should say the smell is just as important as the taste. It's a whole sensory experience. And also, I guess, when you eat it and the way it feels in your mouth is also important. And this does sound like it would be quite enjoyable to eat with the turkey and the rice and the shallots and all the fine stuff.
Yeah.
It does sound quite appetizing. Gee, I'm going to go down to Taipei Station and get the first train down to Chiayi to try this and be back the same night by taking the Gaotie, high-speed rail. But anyway, that's another point here. Let's move on now and talk about the origins of turkey rice. Yeah, where did this dish come from? And yes, that does sound kind of strange here because I don't think Taiwan is a place that has turkeys. I wouldn't imagine Taiwan to have turkeys at all. So what the heck is Taiwan doing with turkey rice? Is it imported or something? Yeah, where the heck did this come from?
Yeah, well, the other thing that we're going to talk about before we get to those darn turkeys, who make a lot of noise, I must say, there's also another way that you can vary this dish. You can also serve it with something called pickled yellow radish, and that makes it even tastier. Also, if you're eating pickled radishes, that's actually quite healthy for us. We know it's good for your digestive system, your gut bacteria, as we know about. If you pickle something, you add a little vinegar to it, and you wait a little bit, and it changes the flavor a tad. So pickled dishes are quite popular, especially in Korea. They love their pickled dishes. But pickled dishes add a little bit different texture and taste. It adds a little bit of that sharpness, or sometimes it can be even bitter, but this is more of a sharp taste. And radish, of course, you guys all know what radishes are here. They're usually the white radish that you get. If you go to America, you're going to see a different kind. It's going to be a little red circular shape, I should say. And those are radishes, but we eat those in salads raw. We don't cook them.
Indeed. So these are the ingredients for turkey rice as it's served in Chiayi, Taiwan, and in other places. And yeah, we're going to move on to the second part and find out about the origins of turkey rice. Yeah, where does turkey rice come from? Let's find out. But first, we're going to take a break and listen to our Chinese teacher.
听众朋友大家好，我是安娜。进入到11月啊，大家大概想到的就是火鸡吧，因为11月就是感恩节的时候。没错，我们今天要带大家看一下火鸡，可是不是那一种感恩节的烤火鸡哦，而是台湾很道地的火鸡肉饭。那当然我们这一篇呢是设计成综合测验，也就是克漏字，所以有一些呢这个选项啊，如果有一点难度，我们就会仔细的来看一下。那当然我们刚刚说到，只要到了11月的时候，大家就想到感恩节。感恩节在西方当然就是火鸡大餐，可是在台湾的话呢，我们普遍比较没有那么多人在庆祝感恩节，可是我们的火鸡肉饭是大家都很熟悉的。那我们刚刚谈到的其实就是在文章的第一段的文意，但是第一段呢，我们要特别注意，这是我们第一题。第一题它考什么呢？我们来看看选项。这个选项就有点困难，因为你要先判别它的词性，还有它不同意思跟用法。 像 A 的 upon 如果放在句尾的这个 upon 如果放在句前，也就是句首的时候啊，它其实跟 on 是差不多的。那通常它后面只会加名词或者是动词 ing， 指的是怎么的时候。那 C 的 during 呢，它是一个介系词，后面加上某一个时间，指的是在什么期间当中。而 B 选项的这个 while 跟 D 选项的 as 本身都可以当成连接词。如果在这里的话，我们就要判断一下在第二句，也就是第一题，它的文意当中是什么，而且它需要什么样的词性。由于在这句话当中，逗点的前面有一个 be 动词的 is， 逗点之后也有一个 is， 所以其实在这一格是需要连接词来连接两个句子。那么 B 选项的 while 除了有 when 的意思之外，还有 although 虽然的意思，甚至还有表示对比的然而。不过第三个意思通常会放在两个句子中间，所以 B 选项如果填进去的话呢，在这里指的是 when 或者是 although 会比较通顺。当然应该是 although 虽然我们的感恩节并不是非常普遍，但是啊，我们还是很喜欢火鸡肉饭。那么 D 这个选项的 as 当连接词，我们常常会说 as 当连接词就是 when because 如同好像，那放在这里都不通顺，所以以 B 的答案 while 而且是当 although 虽然的这个文意是最通顺哦。那接着我们就看到第二段啦，第二段就是告诉我们火鸡肉饭基本上到底就是怎么做，然后怎么样的比较好吃。可是在这一句话当中啊，在这一段里面我们特别先注意一下第二句我们提到传统上啊，火鸡肉饭就是怎么样做的呢？ Be made by doing something。 后面这里的 by 从 layering 后面一直到逗点的地方，我们可以给它一个中括号。为什么呢？因为这句话最后面很长，逗点之后的 creating 它其实是非限定用法关系子句的简化，也就是补充说明一下藉由什么样的做法火鸡肉饭会很好吃，会创造出一个什么样的 flavor 口味是我们大家喜爱的呢？所以这里逗点之后的 creating 还原的话应该是 which creates， 藉由这样的做法就可以创造出一个口味。什么样的口味呢？ flavor 后面 that 到句尾也可以左右括号，而这里的 that 就是关带限定用法的关系子句。而同样呢，接下来我们看到第二段的第四句，就来到我们的第三题咯。第三题其实看到就觉得很困难，对不对？ A 的 once 指的是不特定的代名词人事物，那一些好不特定的哦，是复数。 B 的 that 有可能是关带，然后也有可能是那一个。 C 的 the one 是单数，但是是限定那一个什么样的人事物。而最后 D 的 those 当然就是那些，它可能是形容词或者是代名词都可能。那回到第二段的第四句，我们要先判断一下，在这里的文意上啊，它指的是某一些传统的店家，它会放油葱来增加香味，所以同样它跟上面那一句也就是第三句产生文意之间的关系。言下之意是有一些传统的店家，在这里第三题其实文意上是要代替前面第三句的 vendors， 也就是卖火鸡肉饭的店家，但是没有特定是哪些店家，所以应该是选复数 A 的答案。那这个复数的判断也可以借由第三题，也就是这句后面那个 improve 动词没有加 s， 所以我们也可以判断第三题这里应该是复数。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back, folks. It's our food unit, and we're talking about a beloved dish right here in Taiwan called turkey rice. Actually, if you're from the Chiayi area, this is a dish you're familiar with. What's the name in Chinese for this?
Well, I would think it's a direct translation, just火鸡饭, turkey rice. Okay, so if you go into a restaurant and look for that on the menu somewhere, look for fire chicken rice.Then you'll have your food. We don't call turkeys fire chicken. That's, of course, from Chinese. But yeah, that's the name of it, I think, in Chinese. And of course, the name in English is turkey rice. But where the heck did this dish come from? Well, again, the origins of turkey rice are unclear. Nobody really knows for sure. Nobody really knows for sure, but we do have some theories, which means some guesses about how things happened or some explanations, possible explanations. And one theory suggests that after World War II, American troops stationed in the Jiayi area introduced turkey, which local farmers then bred extensively. So as you know, following World War II, the American military was here for quite some time until the 70s when the United States withdrew its recognition of Taiwan and decided to recognize China instead. So the American troops are down there after World War II, and I suppose they got a little bit homesick. I have no idea how they got a live bird into Taiwan, but that's one theory. The soldiers introduced turkey to the local farmers, and the farmers thought, wow, that's really cool. That is a big bird. It's got a lot of meat, and we can make all sorts of fun things to eat with it. So they bred those turkeys extensively. Now here, bred is the past tense of breed, which means you get animals together and you have them produce babies and following generations.
That's right. I wanted to go back to this word station. It's used as a verb. If you are stationed somewhere, it probably means you're in a military group of some sort, and maybe you're assigned to a specific place or for a specific person. We often use it when we're talking about the military. Oh, where were you stationed during your military service? You could ask a friend that. Oh, I was stationed in Kaohsiung, or I was stationed in Geelong. So they were stationed here. I'm thinking they snuck the birds in on a ship.
Probably.
They didn't have to go through customs. Nowadays, there's no way you could get live birds in here because we're trying to protect the livestock and the food here in Taiwan for good reasons. But they snuck them in, and then local farmers started to breed them, as Tom said. And we had more and more little turkey babies. And so that's how we got turkey here. It's really not a popular meat for us in America. I think some people eat turkey sometimes to lose weight. There's not a lot of fat in it. Maybe there's more fat in the dark meat, of course, as there is in darker chicken meat. There's more fat. But it's not really popular. Although if you go to Subway and get a turkey sandwich, they're pretty tasty, I must say. So, yeah, I don't buy much turkey, and I only eat it on Thanksgiving primarily.
Right. So again, we got this theory that says the American troops who were stationed in the Jiayi area brought the turkey in and introduced it to the local farmers, and then they started to breed the turkeys extensively. They did it quite a bit. Post-war shortages made chicken hard to come by at that time. So, of course, after World War II, the world needed to recover, and there were shortages of various things. And these are post-war shortages, or shortages that occurred after the war. And chicken was hard to come by at that time. People, of course, mostly prefer chicken to turkey. I'm the same way myself. Chicken tastes a lot better than turkey. But turkeys, being larger and cheaper than native chickens, became a regular food source at local stalls, eventually leading to the turkey rice we know today. So, yeah, these people were hungry at the time. We don't have a lot of chickens. What are we going to do? Hey, those Americans over there have some turkeys. Let's get some from them, and let's figure out a way to cook the turkey and make a delicious dish.
There's a phrase in here that I don't hear many Taiwanese use, but we use it all the time in America. If something's hard to come by, it's hard to find, it's hard to get your hands on, it's hard to get access to it. If I'm in a foreign country, sometimes it's hard to come by. My favorite little American snacks that only you can get in America. Some things are hard to come by if they're just hard to find and buy. So turkeys are larger, they're cheaper than native chickens, of course, and they became at that time a regular food source at local stalls. You guys all know what stalls are if you've been to a night market here. It's kind of a stand or a cart that someone sets up outside and then sells things from. Those are stalls. And eventually this treat, I guess, of having turkey became kind of more well-known, especially in the area of Chiayi, where they have more land to raise turkeys, I'm thinking. And so that's how we came to have the turkey rice that we have today. It started because of post-war shortages and substituting turkey for chicken.
Exactly. So you can find them at local stalls in the night market or wherever. They have lubiantang, or what are they called, street side stalls. They have those during the day as well. You might be lucky and come across some. Next time you head to Chiayi, check it out.
Yeah.
And here's the final paragraph. It says, turkey rice is not just a delicious meal, but also a symbol of Taiwan's unique culinary culture. So here we've got the not only but also pattern in here. It is not only delicious, but also a symbol of culture here in Taiwan, basically. And so, yes, we're saying it is a delicious meal, but it's not just that. It's also something that represents Taiwan's culture, especially in terms of its food culture. So here we've got the word culinary, which is basically a fancy word for food, and we use it to describe the science and the procedure and all that fun stuff involved with food production or serving food, cooking it. You get the idea.
Yeah, it's related closely to the very last word of this article, cuisine. Culinary just means related to that particular area's food, what they like to eat, what's characteristic of what they like, what they enjoy. So whether enjoyed as a quick street snack, which you could, just pick something out on at one of these stalls we've been talking about, or a hearty meal like a Thanksgiving meal, turkey rice remains a must-try for anyone seeking an authentic taste or real taste of Taiwanese cuisine. If it's hearty, it's kind of large and satisfying. It's one of those kind of meals that 3 hours after you've eaten, you're still full. That's a hearty meal. And it sounds like turkey rice would fit the bill or be just what you want if you're looking for something that's hearty and filling.
Indeed, it does sound very tasty, and it does sound like Chiayi is where this dish comes from. So I suppose if you want the best kind of turkey rice, you should head to Chiayi. But I'm sure there are other places around the island that serve it as well. Funny thing about turkeys, I don't know if you've ever noticed this before, but if you go close to turkeys and then you whistle at them, they will respond with a sound. It's kind of fun.
No, I didn't know that. They're noisy and kind of annoying animals, but they do provide us with meat, so we're grateful for them. Right now, we're going to listen to a few minutes from our Chinese teacher, and then we'll be back to say goodbye.
那接着就来到我们第3段咯。当然我们会想说，奇怪了，台湾为什么会出现火鸡，而且还有火鸡肉饭啊？原来啊，第3段就带我们看到一个起源。那有几种说法啦，有一种说法是因为2次大战结束之后呢，美军就驻扎在嘉义地区，所以就把火鸡肉这个火鸡啊就带入了。那后来因为战后各项物资都缺乏嘛，所以要吃鸡肉不太容易啊，就直接吃火鸡，而且也便宜。第3段这个第4句呢，我们特别来看一下第3段它的第4句，因为它的句型有跟我们刚才提到的非限定用法关系子句的简化是相同的，所以第3段第4句我们看一下 turkeys 逗点之后，从 being 到后面逗点的 chickens， 这里先左右括号，这里的 being 还原是 which were， 好，是这一句当中第一个非限定用法的关系子句简化。第二个呢，则是后面第3个逗点这边 eventually leading， 我们把 leading 换成 which led， 因为都是在讲当时火鸡肉饭的起源。而在这里的 which 要特别注意which 代替的则是前面从 turkey 一直到 eventually 逗点这个地方的整句话，因为 which 可以代替前面的名词人事物或者是整句话，都要按照文意来判断。好，那我们对火鸡肉饭呢有了些许的了解，希望大家都能喜欢今天的内容。我是安娜，我们下次见。
That is it for today, everybody, and I'm sure all of you are now hankering for a little bit of turkey rice yourself. So head on out and knock yourself out and have a great meal. This does sound very tasty. From all of us here at English Digest, I'm Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
And don't forget to check out our content on Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye.